It's time to start. Time to open up your heart. Let it in. Begin. Release your fear. Release your pain. Shed a tear. Let them rain. Remember love. Remember love. Remember this.
Good evening. My name is Wayne Young, an Australian filmmaker here to introduce a presentation of a dynamic television special. This film has the power to ignite the passion of people worldwide and have them cry out, "Stop killing the whales, all the whales, forever. They are far too close to extinction right now." If we do not take action, if we do not get people to cry out worldwide, there is no organisation in place that will save the whales for us. It is only through people power that we can make this work. This is a winnable environmental battle. I ask you to watch this presentation and participate in whatever way you can. Thank you.
If you're like me, you thought that the whales of the world were safe. Well, we're wrong. And if we don't do something soon, there'll be no whales left in the world's oceans. In this program, you're going to see things that will surprise and shock you. Well, we need to be shocked in order to do something about it.
There's a dark side to all human nature. True selves are born inside.
In 1986, a worldwide moratorium came into effect to stop the killing of whales. Since then, at least 15,000 whales have been slaughtered through loopholes in the agreement. Clearly, the moratorium is not working. Norway blatantly resumed commercial whaling in 1993. Now Japan and Norway are determined to overthrow the moratorium completely.
We're going back to have more whale meat this summer because we are starting commercial whaling this year. We are looking forward to it. Very good.
Based upon scientific committee's report, scientific evidence of the International Whaling Commission, there are 760,000 minke whales, among which scientists calculated that on a sustainable basis, 2,000 to 4,000 minke whales annually could be harvestable.
But we are trying to kill them as shorter time as possible.
Japan has greater ambitions. It wants to restart commercial whaling. After all, they claim there's plenty of whales in the ocean. In fact, if anything, they've become a marine pest.
Yeah, I believe that, minke whale is, cockroach in the oceans. Cockroach.
They shouldn't be allowed to do it just under a cruelty basis, but it's supposedly for science. It's bullshit.
Coming out of the water, back to the middle now. Up for the preacher, up for the preacher now.
I asked Japanese people why. Some of them just say, for a samurai reason. They got in a fight and they have to save face by fighting through to the end.
Blood on the water, blood on the sands. You got blood on your hands, Japan. Save face while you can. Save face while you can. You got blood on your hands, Japan.
When we talk about whales, we should be aware that we're talking about quite a number of different species. From the blue whale, which is an animal so large that its blowholes are this big, so large in fact that an elephant could stand on its tongue, right down to the minke whale, an animal that is so small it's only as large as this boat, an animal which previously was considered too small to be worth hunting and is now the only species of whale present in substantial numbers.
They argued sustainable utilization on the one species, and yet they've wiped out 8 or 9 species over the last 45 years, and let us have a go at the last species.
The Whaling Commission started in 1946 as a club of whalers to share out the whales between them. And it went on for years, and as we've seen, they destroyed the Antarctic whales. In the 1970s, it began to change. Other countries came in that were interested in conservation, and the balance of interests changed. But it's been going back again. Countries have been leaving, they can't afford to stay in. They think, or some of them think the problem's solved anyway. And now Japan is giving it a push harder back to what it was, a real whalers club, or a club of countries that will vote for the whalers. And then it's the end. Then we'll be whaling again just the way they were whaling in the 1950s. Only this time it'll be killing off the minke whales, the last ones.
Well, the Whaling Commission, in order to take any major decision, requires a 3/4 majority vote. That is to say, 3/4 of the countries voting have to vote yes in order to approve a major decision like the whale sanctuary in the Antarctic. That means that one no vote cancels out 3 yes votes. One no vote, like Grenada, for example, that could cancel out the yes votes of Germany, Netherlands, France. You have another no vote like St. Lucia, cancels out the yes votes of countries like the UK, the US, Australia, and it goes on and on like that. And we just can't afford to have a handful of island nations sponsored by Japan defeating the entire world.
It happens to be an emergency.
We are always dominated by the abuse of the power of the majority.
Nations like Japan have seized the opportunity to offer us money, pure and simple money, in return for us giving support to an activity which most of the Caribbean islands, except one, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, never have participated in, which is whaling.
The Grenada government is just one of at least 4 that were bought by the Japanese to vote in their favor at the International Whaling Commission.
This is the proposed site for a new fishing complex sponsored by the Japanese in exchange for the Dominican vote to allow the Japanese to start whaling again.
Japan has now admitted that it bought the boats through international aid.
Really is up to the people to really scream a little, a lot, and put pressure on their governments to change.
When one looks